All right, so today I want to address whether or not Shakur Stevenson is a boring fighter. A lot of people have been making claims that he's boring when you look at his last fight, but I went and did some research and I realized that Shakur Stevenson, he only has 21 fights, but when you look at his competition level, 17 out of the 21 opponents that he's fought, they only have at max two losses. That means they're either undefeated, they had one loss, or two losses. So that means that Shakur has been fighting higher level competition on his way up to stardom. When you compare that to Devin Haney and Tank Davis, Devin Haney has 32 fights, Tank Davis has 29 fights, and only 14, for both of those guys, only 14 of their opponents have a maximum of two losses. So Devin Haney and Tank Davis, they fought more tomato cans and more garbage men than Shakur Stevenson. So it's easier to look entertaining when you're fighting lesser talent. I just had to put that out there. Another thing is when you look at some of the undefeated fighters Shakur has fought, Patrick Riley on his come up, he stopped that guy in 2 rounds. Joet Gonzalez, that was for the WBO, I think, featherweight WBO. He beat that guy, and he made it a boxing lesson. It was methodical. And then when you look at the Oscar Valdez, Oscar was 30-0. Oscar Valdez was undefeated when he fought Shakur. Shakur dropped him and outboxed him, and that was a very electric fight.
That's one of my favorite
Shakur
Shakur
took a big
Stevenson
body
fights.
shot. What's up, Kawaki? How you doing, man?
Yo, what's up?
So people were making claims that Shakur was born because of the De Los Santos fight, but
Man,
I realized a lot of people they haven't followed his career. And I was looking up a stat, but I'm gonna ask you if you know this or not. But Shakur, out of his 21 fights, 17 of those guys only had a maximum of two losses.
facts.
So did you know that?
Yeah, 'cause I was looking at their boxing rec. I was looking on boxing rec, all they records and shit, and the fighters that they were fighting.
Right. So Shakur, out of 21, the small amount of fights he's had, 17 of those guys have only had a maximum of two losses. If y'all in the chat, make sure y'all liking the live. So Tank Davis has 29 fights, Devin Haney has 32. And only 14 of the guys that they fought has a maximum of two losses. So Shakur has been fighting tougher competition. When you fight tough competition, you're not going to be amazing every night. But when you look at one of his more dominant performances, it was against Jamel Herring. I think Herring only had one or two losses.
Right,
He dominated Herring. He stopped him.
right. A lot of
And the
people.
thing about it, hmm?
Oh, you can go. You go. I can go after. Go.
No, go ahead.
I would say a lot of people that call Shakur boring, like it's because of his last fight. But in my opinion, I don't think he's boring because I understand the sweet science of boxing. I understand to hit and not get hit. A lot of people want you to get in
Exactly.
there and get beat to death and shit like that. But you gotta understand, at the end of the day, these people got a family that they gotta go back to. So
Right. And here's the thing, man. Not only does he have a family that he has to go back to, but he can't control that he isn't a power puncher. Shakur Stevenson, his best weight class as far as power is going to end up being 130. That was the same was true with Floyd Mayweather, but Shakur has less than 50% knockout ratio. He's not a power puncher. There's nothing he can do about that. Maybe he could start chopping trees or some shit, but overall, you have to accept that as a boxing fan. At least Shakur isn't trying to go take supplements and cheat to become a big hitter. We
exactly.
seen that. What's that UK motherfucker? Um,
Shit.
you know
I,
what I'm
I
talking about.
I gotta think of his name. I think I know what
Yeah, I
you're
can.
talking about though.
Hey, y'all know who I'm talking about in the chat. That UK dude. Hey, Wickedy, make sure you mute your mic. What's up, Wickedy? Oh, Ben, Connor Ben.
Yeah, Connor. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kawaki.
Ben. Yeah, Ben.
Now put some respect on Shakur's name. He has a 50 less than 50% knockout ratio, but he's not out here trying to cheat. So Connor Ben, he went on a knockout spree, but it turned out he was eating too many eggs, as he would say. He ended up failing drug tests. So Shakur is a hard worker who isn't a natural puncher. And also, when you look at the fact that 17 out of his 21 opponents only have two losses max, he's been fighting top tier competition for a long time. He doesn't have the same amount of tomato cans on his record as the average young boxer does. His competition level, when you look at the stats, the wins and losses, has been more challenging than Tank Davis and Devin Haney, and both of them have more fights than him. Tank and Devin, only 14 guys on their list has a maximum of 2 losses. Everyone else, some of them have losing records. They have more than 2 losses. Shakur, 17 out of 21 guys he fought only have a maximum of 2 losses, bro. So somebody says 2 losses is a lot at that level. Well, this is what you're saying. 2 losses is a lot, but Shakur Stevenson has the most of those opponents on his resume. Tank is a guy that has 20 losses on his record. Tank has fought a dude that had over 30 losses. Devin has 2 over in Mexico. So you're saying 2 losses is a lot, but really in boxing, there's guys with hella losses, 15 and 30 losses, and these
Someone
guys get
said,
matched up.
someone said who naturally hits harder, Devin or Kura? I'm gonna have to say Devin as of now.
Who what?
Somebody said who naturally hits harder, Haney or Shakur?
Devin,
I gotta say Devin.
especially at 140. But Shakur, a lot of his power, like I watched the fight with Yoshino and Valdez. He dropped Yoshino and Valdez off of timing and accuracy. So Shakur Stevenson could drop anybody that he fights if he catches them at the right time, at the right moment.
Facts.
Ultimately, I think that Shakur probably the only thing he could work on probably is the power. His last fight, I do believe he was hurt because he's never fought like that before. I went back and watched the fight. Someone earlier said that Joet Gonzalez win was underrated. It was. That was a boxing lesson. That's another thing Shakur could work on. Sometimes you have to dumb down your style for the fans. When he fought Gonzalez, it was a good fight, but it could have been a little bit more exciting. But it's like he's methodical. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He's throwing a bunch of straight left hands. So I think he probably could be a little bit more creative with his offense. Sometimes southpaws can get a little bit methodical where they just doing the same tricks over and over and over. They win it comfortably. But if you're not a knockout artist, sometimes you gotta be more creative. Like Pernell Whitaker, he was a boxer, but he made it fun with his movements. He made it fun with his defense and the different ways he would set up his shots. So
Facts.
ultimately, I don't think that Shakur is boring at all. I think that Shakur is very exciting. He had one bad performance, and he's also been going up against tougher competition than some of the guys that we love. When you look at his box rec, his competition has a maximum of 2 losses for the most part out of 21 fights. The same can't be said of Devin Haney or Tank Davis. So we have to factor in who he's been fighting.
Somebody,
So I wanted to do this live because it came to
Christian
mind.
Fisher said.
What-
Christian Fisher said nobody likes running in the ring. It's not boxing. Shakur is a scary fighter. But if you can't cut off the ring, then what do you mean they running? How do you run in a closed off ring? You got like he turning his back and like actually run around the ring. He just stepping back into, you know what I'm saying?
I only seen that when Wilder fought that guy. What was his name? Molina. I saw that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Listen, Valdez hit Shakur with a mean body shot. If Valdez would have landed a few more of those body shots, he would have won the fight. But he didn't. So people saying Shakur's running and this and that. He's not running that much if he's getting hit with certain shots. Like the shot that Valdez hit him with, it was a right hook to the body. If you're really, really running and you're not there to be hit, you're not gonna get hit. Like we seen that when Boots fought the guy Karen, Chucker Jr. or whatever. I don't know how to say that damn last name. But when Boots fought Karen wasn't really there for a lot of those big shots because he was trying his best not even to get touched because he just wanted to make it to the 12th round. Partially because he understood the level of competition that he was in there with. He respects Boots as a talent. So he wanted to be able to say, I went 12 rounds with Jerron Boots Ennis. Someone says he was running versus Santos. Of course, but Shakur, that was only one bad performance. You cannot judge a fighter off one bad performance. All great fighters have had one bad performance.
Exactly. Only casuals judge you off of one bad performance.
Wait, KJ. So can we judge Edgar Berlanga even though he won this weekend or no?
I didn't watch the Berlanga fight. How did it go?
It was off and on. You know, they were hitting each other. Berlanga hit him in the chest and knocked him out. It wasn't even in the face. And I haven't seen that in a while. And Berlanga threw a right hand, hit him in the chest, and he couldn't get back up. But that guy that he fought, who was he? I don't know. But kind of like what you just said, you can't judge someone off of one performance. But I just still don't think Berlanga could get in there and fight nobody that's like elite.
Berlanga is in the where is he at? Super middleweight?
crushed there. But
He definitely gonna get a chance to see. We're gonna get a chance to see because Berlanga, he has a name. He has people backing him, so he's gonna get a chance to fight the David Morrell's in
Somebody,
how many years. So we're gonna
somebody
see
said,
what he's made of.
somebody said y'all care more about who's entertaining than who's the best, and that's the problem now. Facts. That's what I'm saying.
Well, this is the thing. And boxing has always been about being both. You want to try to be the best boxer you can be, and you want to be the best entertainer because you got to sell tickets. But Shakur, his problem, when you ask me, is he just signed to a promotional company that didn't know what to do with him. I think if Shakur would have signed to the PBC, it might be better that Shakur signed with Top Rank because Top Rank, they matched him up very well, and not like in a typical way of saying that. They matched him up with a lot of good competition. That's why, like I said, out of the 21 opponents he's fought, 17 of them only have a maximum of 2 losses. That means they're either undefeated, have 1 loss, or they only have 2 losses. So Top Rank actually matched Shakur up very well to where as though he is developed more as a boxer because of those matchups. But another promotional company would have put a little bit more bums on there so he could have a little bit more entertaining performances, a showcase fight. That's what it's called in boxing, a showcase fight. So Shakur probably needed more showcase fights while he was making his way up for people to think that he's more exciting. But I don't think he's born by any means.
Absolutely not. He's not boring. He's one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing.
Exactly. Only casuals who
best
seen his
defense
last
in the
fight.
sport of boxing.
if you appreciate
Casuals who
this,
seen his last fight just think he's boring, bro.
if you appreciate the sweet science, then you'll think
I do.
Shakir is amazing. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like
I do.
we all been
This
watching
is the
boxing.
thing.
You
So
have to
let's
appreciate.
ask a different question then. Let's ask a different question. Is Shakur entertaining to casuals, and what can he do to become entertaining to casuals?
All right. First off, y'all saying
The
one bad
best,
performance.
honestly.
The
He shouldn't
performance
change his
broke
style.
records for how
He
bad it
shouldn't change
was.
his style, in my opinion.
Hold on. Let Juan Vandal go because he was
All right.
he was talking about
All right.
what.
All right, so we saying that he only had one bad performance, right? But that one bad performance broke records for how bad it was. Like the least amount of punches thrown and landed in a fight of all time. That's worth like 5 bad performances, bro.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Let me break it
Now,
down
that's
to
a
you right
hell
here.
of a statement.
That's
So
you go.
you said that was the least amount thrown of all time.
Yeah, of all time. But it got broken. It got broken by Regis.
I was just finna say that
Haney.
it's Regis now.
Hold up. But Devin Haney was hitting Regis. So
No, I'm saying
was the record the least amount landed or the least amount thrown?
No, it broke the record overall, but then Regis broke what is his name? De Los Santos record for least landed.
Okay, but for least
I
amount
was
thrown.
at the Regis versus Haney fight.
No, they had the record
Regis
for
won that
thrown
shit.
and landed.
If you
They had
watch
the
that
record
in
for thrown
person.
and landed, but Regis broke the record for landed. Took the record from De
Okay,
Los Santos.
so check this out then. Check this out. The Devin Haney and the Regis fight was pretty exciting.
Me-
So I don't think that record
But
was
I'm just
that
saying
much.
Regis as an individual, not as the whole fight, not the whole fight.
Right,
Regis
right.
as an individual.
Regis won that. I was at the fight. Regis won that. It was on. You watch it in person. Regis won that shit.
Man, hell no.
Regis
Hey,
fought with Devin Haney.
you
Bro,
trolling,
like
right?
good though.
Hey, you trolling, right?
Regis is gonna be a 3-time world champ. He's gonna come back and beat Devin Haney.
Regis didn't even beat Zaria. Zaria got
He's one of the
robbed
best
versus
fighters right now.
too.
Regis, don't talk shit on his
Hell
name.
no. David made that nigga retire and go to MMA. Yeah, you
Devin
talking about.
straight up garbage. Ryan Garcia's gonna knock him out in the 4th round.
Yeah, we gonna see. Hey,
I believe that too, but Devin's not garbage.
But
I bet you
also
put no
with
money on it.
Shakur, I think he should have went to the Zone or PBC. I feel like Top Rank doesn't create stars. The last star they had
Well,
was
Top Rank
Pacquiao.
actually,
Everybody else,
when you look at
they mismanaged.
Listen. Top Rank, they don't know how to market black fighters. That's just what it is. But even Lomachenko, they put a bunch of marketing behind him, and he isn't even that damn big outside of boxing circles. So
No, yeah, they're horrible. They're horrible at marketing fighters. Bob Arum's old as hell. He need to retire. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Bob Arum, a lot of people saying Bob Arum stuck on that Ali type
that's
shit.
past Bob.
Bob,
Boxing is past Bob.
Garcia.
I have a question for WWW.
Okay.
Can you hear me, WWW?
Yeah.
Why do you think Devin Haney is trash? I'm just asking.
Devin Haney, because he hasn't fought any like real. Lomachenko was old as fuck. Regis is old as fuck. He hasn't fought any legit
Regis
people.
is not old. Regis is like 33 years old.
Regis
David Haney
is like
lost to
35.
Lomachenko, man.
Yo, somebody look up Regis' age, bro.
Regis is 35. I know that for a
Bro,
fact.
that's not even that old. And think about it, the young fighters that you're trying to say, they not even
Hold on.
ranked.
Is Regis? I didn't think Regis was 35. Somebody look up Regis' age.
Regis like
Because I can't-
34. Regis is 34.
34. David Haney lost to Chamchenko.
Regis is
Huh?
35.
He is
Okay, so
35.
Regis is 35. That is pretty old in boxing.
If he gets Ryan Garcia will knock him out in the 4th round.
No.
Come on,
Ryan
bro.
Garcia's got more power. He's
He'll
got
be
more
split
baby
decision
mamas.
better
He's
than
faster.
And he
I
will
get
win.
it. He's got more baby.
So hold up now. WWE made some points. Devin fought an old Loma, he won. He fought an old Regis, he won. So the Ryan Garcia fight is gonna be very important because I wasn't thinking about the ages like that. Like, even though Loma is old, Loma can still give people a lot of work. But in boxing, 35 years old, you're pretty much at the end of being a top guy at 35. Some people, you have some outliers. I think Floyd could have kept going, but Floyd stopped at 37. Bernard Hopkins was able to keep going. Terrence Crawford, I think he's going to be able to give us another good 3 or 4 years, but we're talking about the creme de la creme, outliers of the sport. For Regis to be 35, that is a statement, man. Even Loma, like, so Haney has beat some old men. We're about to see what Haney does against a young man in Ryan Garcia and against a Ryan that's not weight drained.
Listen,
so WWE, you might be right.
Hey.
Ryan maybe has
All the young guys ducking.
Listen, let me tell you something. All the young guys aren't that highly ranked, bro. And another thing
They're
is,
ducking the ones that are.
Ryan Garcia isn't that skilled, bro. Why y'all overhyping, bro? Even if he's drained or not drained, he isn't disciplined. He's not gonna do nothing just because he's young.
Y'all in the chat, make sure y'all if y'all in the chat, make sure y'all tapping that screen, man.
Peers of Devin Haney, and dude ducked Haney so bad that he started claiming undisputed while Haney had the WBC. He just started claiming it.
You talking about
People just started giving it to him.
Teofimo.
Who?
Teofimo claimed undisputed when he was at 35, but Haney had the WBC belt that whole time.
Exactly.
How's that possible?
Yeah.
Dude
The
just
one
started-
dude does a real good job. What's his name? He comes up here and he always breaks it down how Tio was never really undisputed.
Never.
But the media was trying to market him as undisputed. That was
Because
crazy.
he had an interim belt. He had an interim WBC belt, but Haney had the actual belt. And
Right.
and all he had to do was fight Haney to be undisputed, but he ducked him. And then just
Somebody
started
Southpaw Smooth said Haney ducked Tio. That's Cal. Tio ducked Haney. Why you think Cambosis and Tio happened? He ducked Haney.
I just broke it.
Exactly.
Undisputed.
He
Haney
was
had the WBC belt, but instead of fighting Haney for the WBC to be undisputed, he just started claiming it and fought Cambosis and lost a cherry pick.
Somebody said
What do you guys
Haney
think
didn't
Haney
fight
versus
nobody.
Garcia prediction?
But you know what though? That's karma. Because if he ducked him,
God.
he was supposed to fight. And then
Facts.
if it wasn't for him fighting Cambosos and Cambosos beating him, Haney wouldn't have been undisputed. Then we wouldn't have got the Loma fight because Haney called Loma out 4 years ago. The only reason Loma fought Haney was for a chance to become undisputed because he had never made it. So T.O.'s ducking actually was better for the sport.
Kinda, yeah, that's a good way. That's a positive way to look at it. But I would have rather had seen T.O. and Haney as opposed to
Cambosis.
T.O. and Cambosis and then Cambosis and Haney.
Man, Haney fighting Cambosos was great because he tore Cambosos' ass up twice. And he did it in Australia. That was nice. But him fighting Loma, that was even better. And then now they both could square off at 140 where Haney isn't going to be weight drained. T.O. and Haney now is a better fight to me.
Another thing is about the email champ shit. Haney was the WBC champ, so they promoted him, the interim, I think. So they promoted him to WBC Super.
Exactly. And that's what Tank kept trolling him about being an email
Exactly.
champ. When
Now
Haney was
Tank
calling him
email
out.
champ.
Tank was trolling him, calling him an email champ, and
Make
he
sure
didn't
y'all
even
like
got
it
the real
live. Make
belt,
sure
blah,
y'all
blah,
clicking
blah.
the screen, man. Thanks, Kawaki.
Somebody said Tio
But yeah,
wasn't supposed
I'm
to
gonna
lose
ask
to
some more
Cambosis.
people in the chat. I gotta state this again because a lot of people they just got here. But Shakur Stevenson, his people are saying that he's boring because of his last fight. When you look at some of his better performances, like for instance, Jamel Herring, he completely dominated Jamel Herring, and Shakur Stevenson gave up 4 inches of reach and 2 inches of height, and he still was able to dominate him. So that's very, very significant, especially when you factor in the fact that Jamel Herring is a southpaw. like Tank Davis. So that's something that you got to look into. He also got the stoppage on Jamel Herring. So, like, this guy is a very exciting fighter. The Yoshino fight, that was his first fight at lightweight. So I'm not going to put too much weight on that, but he was able to get knockdowns and a stoppage on Yoshino as well.
He was
Some of his
moving
other
smooth
fights,
in that fight.
huh?
He was moving smooth in that fight.
Yeah, but Yoshino isn't really, he's not really a top guy. But
Yeah, I know.
altogether, ultimately, the tomato cans that Shakur has fought, they all had better records than the ones that Tank and Haney fought. They 17 out of the 21 fighters he's fought, they have a maximum of 2 losses. That's it. Whereas when you look at Devin and Tank's resume, it's guys up there with 34 losses and shit. It's crazy. So, I mean, when you fight in tougher competition, you're not gonna be able to look as good. That's just boxing.
Yeah.
And in fact, when someone does look good against great competition, it's a rare event. That's why the Terrence Crawford fight shocked everybody, because Terrence wasn't supposed to look that damn good against Errol, even if he won.
Insane, man. I'm just now healing from that fight, man.
Man, I had Bud, cuz I ain't gonna lie, cuz I was rewatching it earlier. You can go, David. My bad.
You hear Bud about the fight? You good? You hear Bud about to fight Tim Tszyu?
Yeah.
I know. How do you feel about that?
I mean, that's an easy fight for Bud.
I
I watched Tim Tszyu. He kind of, like, Tim Tszyu could box, but he kind of slow for Bud. Like, he kind of slow.
So they just discounted.
They don't got no chance against Crawford. If you slow, you don't got no chance. Unless Crawford just slow down one of these days because Father Time. But Tim Tszyu, he is in it, like, his feet slow, his hands not too fast, but he's a good boxer and he got power. But really, I wish that Jamel put on a better showing against Canelo, but I still want to see Jamel versus Tim Tszyu. Or I want to see Crawford versus Jamel.
So, yeah, I see that. I think.
Oh yeah, I love that fight too.
I think Crawford would stop him. I would like to see Crawford go out fighting Boots if he could beat him. You know what I'm saying? Then move up or fight Teofimo and then call it a day.
Yeah.
I think Boots is going to fight Crawford at 154, probably for Crawford's last fight or some shit. Like, Boots will go up to 154 for Crawford. Uh-huh. But man, that Jamel and that Crawford fight gonna be interesting because Jamel is naturally bigger than Crawford, and he's naturally bigger than Errol. So I would love to see, and he doesn't fight in the same style as Errol. Jamel, he'll move around and shit. I will give Crawford the edge, but I think that would be a very interesting fight, and you never know what could happen.
I got an idea. What if Boots move up to 54 to fight Jamel, and then the winner of that fights Bud?
I don't know how that makes sense though. Like, where's the interest? Because Jamel just has a horrible showing against Canelo.
Right, but they say Boots haven't fought anybody, so it's kind of equal because it brings Jamel down, but Jamel is somebody big enough to where as though if Boots beats him, you can't say, who has he fought? He beat.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie though.
Yeah, that's true.
At the end of the day though, Jamel and Boots sound like an interesting fight outside of Boots and Crawford.
Yeah, that's what
it is. An interesting fight. I think Crawford, on his way out, he should fight Boots just for the sake of boxing. Like, and it'd be crazy work for Boots because it's like, bro, that's not really a fight that you're supposed to win when somebody got all that experience. So if Boots does win, that's a great start for his career as far as fighting, big name guys. But if he loses, that is a setback.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. What happens if Tim Tszyu loses to Keith Thurman?
I don't think Keith want to fight. Bro, I did a video the other day, and it was based off Keith Thurman. People were saying, so Keith, do you think you could get in there with Bud or Errol, one of these guys? And Keith was talking about, well, Boots, he was like, Bud is a 147 guy. So we could fight, but it wouldn't be really a 154 fight because Bud would be coming out. It's like, Keith, nobody give a fuck about that. Just answer the question. Do you want to fight Bud Crawford or not? You have to understand, if Keith Thurman wanted to fight Errol Spence or Bud Crawford, he would have been fought because he had the opportunity. So I don't think he want to fight.
Yeah, no, he don't want to get stopped.
He want to fight Errol coming back from injuries and shit, and I damn sure don't think he want to fight Terrence Crawford. That's just my opinion.
Thurman is such a non-factor. The belt isn't even on the line. So even if Thurman wins, Tim Tszyu still champion. So it doesn't even matter. To be honest.
Oh damn. At the end of the day,
somebody say
when people see you lose, it kind of takes off the glitter from your belt anyway.
Somebody say Keith Thurman dodged Errol and Bud for years.
Like 7 years. Yeah, he
That's
went into
fact.
retirement down there.
Especially Errol, because Keith signed with PBC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he been PBC this whole
And
time.
Keith was told, Floyd Mayweather told Keith Thurman that he would give him a shot at fighting Floyd and making a bunch of money if he just fought Errol first. And Keith said no.
And that's how you know that he ducked, because come on, man, Earl was a prospect at that time. That was like what, 2014, 2015?
Yep.
Yeah. Earl probably had like 14 fights at that time. And he had that's just like something like that just happened recently. Hold on, I can't think of it. But that's a clear indication that you duck, because who's going to turn down the opportunity to fight Floyd Mayweather?
But it's because Errol wasn't a prospect to Keith. Because if you go watch Errol in the Olympics and in the amateurs and stuff, he was stopping people.
Hey, you see what that Mike?
Clear that he was very dangerous. So
Y'all see what that Mike Oliver dude?
Everyone dodging everyone. I have to say no. Errol Spence gave Terrence Crawford 50-50 when Terrence didn't even deserve it because he wasn't ducking and dodging nobody. So you can't say everyone is dodging everyone. That's a lazy assessment.
Did you see what Mike Oliver said? He said, KJ, did you see Bill Haney tell reporters yesterday Haney and Floyd sparred?
Yeah, that's an old video. That's an old video. Haney sparred an old Floyd Mayweather and did good against him.
I said that's an old Floyd. Prime Floyd would have.
No, I'm saying it was an old Floyd, but that's an old video. Like I watched that a while ago.
I know.
But I mean, it's supposed to, at the end of the day, if you're an upcoming champion, and you fight a legend and he's old, you're supposed to get the best of him because he's old. It's called Father Time.
Fact.
When I watched Devin Haney, he looked like a less athletic version of Floyd. He has all the dedication. He has the size of a Floyd Mayweather, but he's just missing a little bit of the natural athleticism of Floyd Mayweather. With that being said, to have all those gifts, he's still going to be a problem for most people. Like,
Haney only fight old people. Haney only fight the guys that take the fight. How about that?
Yeah.
Because the young guys don't want to fight him.
Yeah.
Y'all claim.
True. Shakur wanted to fight.
Hey, make sure y'all tap in that screen.
Exactly. And I don't want to hear y'all
Shakur
excuse.
went to the WBC to shoot Mauricio.
If you in the chat, make sure you like the live, man. Thank you.
And you know what Devin did? He went to go fight Regis instead of made a 50-50 fight.
Facts.
I don't
hear you, bro.
I don't want to hear Devin saying he want to fight everybody. Devin picks and chooses who he wants to. He does it smart. Yes, he does. He picks and chooses who he wants, and he's smart. Why did Bill Haney call Ryan Garcia? It was a charity fight. He says Bill Haney said something, but now Devin's fighting Ryan Garcia. You make out Devin wants to fight.
Ryan Garcia is a money fight, number one, but number two, Devin Haney sent Shakur a 25% offer. Shakur turned it down.
Shakur then went to Mauricio Sularon to make a 50-50 fight, and Devin took the fight with Regis.
That's for Undisputed. A 50-50 fight for Undisputed is no, bro. Devin took 22% against Cambosis. Stop it.
At the end of the day, if
Haney took 22% and he had the WBC.
Yeah, Shakur is mandatory. You don't offer.
Listen. If you're Shakur Stevenson, you've only had one fight at lightweight. You haven't done shit at lightweight. Devin Haney just became undisputed. He has 4 belts. He sends you an offer of 25%. Why don't you take that? To me, it don't make sense. The only way it makes sense is if you're trying to be a prima donna or you're trying to go off your ego and like, oh, well, I'm better than Devin. I'm not taking 25. But ultimately, the shit is dumb. If he would have been like, okay, let's do it, they would have already fought by now. If Shakur beats Devin Haney, his entire life changes.
Now Devin wouldn't take it. I don't think Devin would have stepped in the ring with Shakur, bro. Devin would not.
You would never know.
He sent the contract. What you mean?
If he did, if he would have stepped in, if he wanted to fight Shakur, he would have done the 50-50. He didn't want to see Shakur.
That's true.
Yo, bro.
He did a 50-50 fight with
What
Regis.
world you living in, brother?
At the end of the day, a 50-50 is going to make it so a motherfucker can't duck. But Shakur, when you look at Errol and Bud was already undisputed at another weight class. Bud already had a legacy of work.
Exactly.
Like Bud said, he didn't have to fight Errol Spence to go to the Hall of Fame.
But Errol,
same thing with Errol. They could have not fought each other.
Errol Spence had a better resume.
Shakur got 21
Errol
fights.
Spence got a way better resume.
No, he don't.
So he
got 21 fights and no pay-per-views.
Way better resume.
How you get 50-50 and you never even fought on pay-per-view?
Spence got a way better resume than Terrence Crawford.
No, he don't.
You said Errol?
No, he doesn't.
Well, no, they kind of fought the same people.
They fought the same people.
When you really factored into it, Terrence Crawford started at lightweight.
Earl Spence fought Kell Brook at the best. He fought Sean Porter.
No, he didn't.
Kell Brook got Triple G, bro.
Triple G knocked him out.
Yeah, Triple G broke his eye.
Come on, bro.
Also, Crawford had a belt, bro.
Man, stop it. That's why he Earl.
I'm telling you, that's the truth, man.
That's why he Earl Spence. Errol Spence fans, y'all just talk just to talk.
We're not even an Earl Spence fan, but Boots Ennis fan. I ain't even know. I'm a David Anderson fan. First off, ain't no fan of no man in this shit. I fuck with Boots Ennis, but that's it. Cause I sparred the nigga, but that's it. I don't fucking know the boxer.
What I'm saying.
But listen, check me out though, David. Check me out. When you look at Errol and Terrence, they both fought Kell Brook, but Kell Brook did get demolished by Triple G. He got his eye socket broke by Triple G before fighting Errol, and nobody brought it up. And then when you look at the Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford beat Sean Porter in a greater fashion. He got a stoppage.
Yeah. Wait, with Kell Brook, didn't Spence break the other eye?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the other eye.
No,
wasn't...
but I'm saying his argument was about Kell Brook being. He said Errol Spence beat the best version of Kell Brook. That's not true because at the end of the day, Kell Brook went up there and fought Triple G, which he had no business of doing, and that was a duck too. That was a duck because Kell knew that he was gonna have to fight Errol, so he tried to fight somebody bigger than him so he can get all this credit before he, went in there and got what he was really supposed to get from the jump. He really was never supposed to fight Triple G. But sometimes dudes do that shit. Like, let me jump up and wait.
Like what Tio is doing with Crawford.
Well, what he tried to do.
Well, yeah, that's what he's trying to do.
Tio's deal is that he wants money. Top Rank is not paying him much.
Yeah, he signed a deal though.
And PBC don't even got money, so he might as well go over to the zone with Eddie Hearn. But he already
Shit, no, PBC got money.
I don't think so, bro.
He's not gonna go to the
Whenever you
rematch.
put Guerrero and fucking what's that motherfucker? I always forget.
Bro, never gonna leave that one.
Tio is not gonna go to the zone unless he absolutely has to. He's still sour over the
goddamn
fight.
Berto. Whenever you can put Guerrero and Berto on a pay-per-view undercard, you got money. But
yeah, they definitely got beard.
Because
Shakur had nothing coming into that fight, man. He had nothing coming into that fight. He didn't have a belt. He didn't have anybody big on his resume. He didn't have no legacy.
How the hell PBC don't got money?
Crawford has been undisputed before.
Check this out. How can PBC not have money and Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, they put on the sixth highest selling pay-per-view event ever.
Because Showtime was still backing them.
They don't know. I'm saying at the end of the day, those proceeds, a lump sum of those proceeds go back to Al Heyman. So when you look at all these other promotional companies, no one has put on an event like that. So how could out of all these promotional companies, PBC be the one that's broke? Somebody said that's one event. Of course, that's one event, but that's the sixth most selling of all time.
Top 10 all time.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's not just one event. They made tens of millions of dollars off that event.
Yeah, but I've been
no
hearing
other promotional company did that.
Yeah, but I've been hearing that for a lot of these new PBC fights on Amazon Prime, Al Heyman is actually paying out of his own pocket.
Yo, Levi.
Yeah.
What's Supreme at, man?
Huh?
Well, I said, what's Supreme at, bro? I ain't Cullen been live in 2 weeks.
I don't know what he's been doing right now.
Supreme, I saw Supreme live a couple days ago.
Nah, yeah, I ain't getting no notification.
Yeah, he was just live a couple days ago.
Yeah.
All right, man. Hey, Levi, do you think Shakur Stevenson is a born fighter?
Sometimes.
Expound on that.
Look, I think his problem, he's too cautious. He needs to take a bit more risk.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's the same situation with Devin Haney. These guys want to become superstars and be recognized. They need to start knocking people out.
Tank Davis take a lot of risks, man. That's one thing. Like if that was a stat in boxing, his risk taking is on 100.
Well,
he take a lot of risks.
Well, that's Tank.
Leveled out because the level of competition is not that high.
Yeah, well, that's Tank's thing. He loses the first half of the fight, and then he goes in.
You can take a risk against somebody that you think that can't knock you out.
Well, I don't know because Ryan Garcia was capable of knocking Tank out. Ryan and Rolly were capable of knocking Tank out. Those were dangerous punchers. Not skilled, not the most skilled fighters, but both of them were very dangerous punchers. Somebody says you don't have to get KOs, just be a bigger personality. That's facts as well. But not everybody has a personality.
You can have a big personality, but they're not coming to watch your personality. They're coming to watch you knock someone out.
Nah, man. They was coming to watch Floyd's personality. Floyd's second half of his career is when he made the most money. He wasn't really knocking dudes out. They was coming to hear him talk that shit.
That's a bad point.
A lot of them also came to see if there was anyone who could beat him.
I mean, that's true. He marketed the undefeated record and everything. But a lot of it was a 24/7. Like he's up there talking a gang of shit and beating the hell out of people. Like Floyd was putting in dominant performances,
Yeah,
but he wasn't getting knocked out.
the thing, like, why do you think most people like to watch Jake Paul fight? They like to watch him fight just to see if someone couldn't beat him.
Oh, Jake. Well, no, I'm gonna be honest with you. Jake Paul, his numbers are inflated, and most people are not tuning in to see that motherfucker fight at all.
True, but it's like what it was with Floyd. They don't like him, and they want to see someone beat him.
Hey,
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well.
Didn't Logan
But people
Paul?
want to see Tank lose as well. But Tank doesn't have none of the persona of Floyd. Tank is undefeated, but they're coming for the knockout. My point is, there are different selling points. There are different marketing points. So it doesn't have to always be about the knockout. They wanted to see Floyd lose. Floyd made himself the bad guy. Right now, Tank is a knockout guy. Devin Haney got to figure out what guy he's going to be, and Shakur got to figure out what guy he's going to be. Or they could just be opponents of Tank Davis. Because at the end of the day, that's the only fight that we really want to see. All that other shit, when they pull out some guy out of the rankings that no one's never heard of, nobody really want to see that. We really, at the end of the day, we want to see Tank and Devin, Tank and Shakur. Even they said Tank is fighting Frank Martin. I don't know if that's still on, but we want to see Tank against top guys. So Shakur and Devin don't necessarily got to be stars as long as they get in there with the star, because that's what's going to make a big fight.
Right.
Hey, what y'all think about Shakur telling Kid Austin that he had to fight
Abdullah Mason.
Abdullah Mason in order to get a fight with him?
Shakur duck.
That's good.
Nah,
Because then they young dudes.
that's
Shakur
good.
duck. Shakur duck it. If he easy, get him up out of there. If he running his mouth, get him up on out of there. That's what I think champions should do when they see these young bucks talking their mouth. Get them up on out of there if they so easy. Like, go ahead.
That's what I was.
I don't think it's a duck. I think it's good because we get to see Abdullah Mason. Actually, it's actually better for Kid Austin to fight Abdullah Mason before fighting Shakur, because Shakur got all this experience. So Abdullah Mason could actually fuck around and make Kid Austin better and give him a better chance of beating Shakur. But I hear what you're saying though, like if a young dude talking shit and you get him up out of there. But when the champion does that and somebody is so green, everyone just turns against him after the fact. Like they just be like, well, you fought somebody with 8 fights. You know what I mean? But if you
but look at De La Hoya and Fernando Vargas. Remember when Fernando Vargas was like 20-0 and he wanted to fight De La Hoya, and De La Hoya said, "All right, you doing all this talking, so what's up?" And De La Hoya showed him what's up.
Okay, but 20 fights are different. How many fights does Kid Austin have?
16.
Okay,
like 16
around there. 12, 16.
So he not that damn green then. So you're right, David. Shakur should give him a fight. You should give him a fight. Fuck it.
Nah, I'd rather see Kid Austin and Abdullah Mason.
I would love to see Kid Austin and Abdullah Mason, like literally because of the style. We know how Shakur fights. It's very methodical. Kid Austin, he got some wild to his style. Abdullah Mason is a very offensive fighter. That shit will be a barn burner. That shit will be electric. And then whoever wins that, they get Shakur. You know, like
I think that fight would be crazy.
it's good for us to focus on lightweight is so developed. It's good for us to start to focus on some of these other names instead of just waiting on the same dudes all the time.
All right.
I like to see Ryo. I like to see Ryo get the winner of him versus Rolly and Pitbull. But ain't he at 135?
Yeah, Ryo at 135. Yeah.
Yeah, damn. I still like to see him get the winner of Rolly and
Matias is in talks, man. That fight will go crazy.
Who?
Elvis and Matias. Elvis, the dude that be with Freddie Roach.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think Matias would slaughter Elvis though.
I don't know, man. Elvis got some weird angles. I don't know.
Didn't Elvis get stopped though in one of his fights? Didn't Elvis get stopped in one of his fights?
Get stopped? I don't know.
What's his last
He
name?
might have. Is it Rodriguez or something? Elvis Rodriguez?
Okay, I gotta check him out. I don't know about him.
Yeah, I was watching one of his fights. He had Freddie Roach in his corner. He had some weird angles, and I'm pretty sure he had southpaw. Thoughts on Andy Cruz's recent performance? Who did he fight? I didn't watch Andy. All of Andy Cruz fights right now, they just gonna be matching him up well. That man got all type of experience, so he gonna be dominating people.
Man, he was cooking that dude, man. It wasn't even. Yeah, he just fought last weekend.
Hey, Keith Davis ducking Andy Cruz, bro, but they don't want to talk about that.
Well, as soon as Andy Cruz went pro, Eddie Hearn called Keyshawn and it's a video about it. And he said, make sure you never fight Andy Cruz. But I think that Keyshawn, he's gonna rise to the occasion and make. I'm not saying he's gonna rise to the occasion and win, but he's gonna fight Andy Cruz. I don't think he's gonna be ducking that smoke. And
Yes, he is.
hopefully he could come out and get a dub because they said that Cruz beat him all the time in the amateurs.
Yeah, he can't beat him. I don't think he can beat him, man.
I don't think Keyshawn
Cruz
could beat
got a
him
lot
either.
of this shit working for him. Like Cruz is Devin Haney size at lightweight. He actually has more natural footwork than Devin. He's slick as shit.
Very.
Cruz has a lot of good shit going his way. I think the only way Keyshawn will beat him if he stop him.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna
Everybody
outbox
that's been
him.
liking a lot, thank you.
Yeah, he gotta knock him out, man. Because if
I think he
that
should
goes
try
12,
to.
Andy
And
gonna win.
Keyshawn went pro earlier, so that's gonna help him as well. Two Finger, thanks for the gifts. Everybody that's been sending gifts, thank you. Does Cruz have power though? We don't know yet, really.
Well,
And he's a boxer,
knockout.
so we don't necessarily need the power. Two Finger, thanks for the gifts, man.
Maybe a cumulative power, but
Who's higher pound for pound all time? Bernard Hopkins or Oscar? It's Bernard Hopkins. First
Bernard.
off, and Bernard beat him.
Bernard.
Second, Bernard went up in weight divisions just like Oscar, and he held on to titles at 40-something years old. Oscar was done, and Bernard was still going at 40-something. Like it's not even close.
He was fighting
one
near
of the
50.
He's one of the best boxers ever that won't be talked about because the average fan they didn't really appreciate what he was doing in there. He was kind of like a boxing genius.
Yeah, he fought to like 50 years old, and Oscar, he was pretty much done at 35.
Somebody said the shit people do for clout, shaking my head. I don't know what you mean by that, Rush, but expound on that.
Yeah. Also, I think what also hurts Bernard's legacy is some of the controversial
If you
comments he
needed
made.
clout, just say that.
I
don't know what you mean by that, Rush. Who you talking to? You talking to me?
He's probably talking about me.
Oh. Two Finger, thanks for the gifts. B-Hop was the man. B-Hop was a man. B-Hop is one of the best boxers to ever do it.
Yo, David, I don't think he talking about you because I seen one of his comments earlier. He was talking about if you think Shakur is boring, you're a casual.
I don't think Shakur is boring. I already went over it in the live. He must be new to the live.
If you appreciate the sweet science, you will think he's not boring.
You have a good life.
Hey, you know who Keyshawn should fight next though? Keyshawn Davis should fight Raymond. He starts with an A. I forgot his name. Raymond
Moratawa.
Yeah. He's like 19 and 16 knockouts, 19-0, 16 KOs.
I think he's already on the Oscar Valdez card.
Okay, he should fight Keyshawn next, bro. He should fight Keyshawn or Medulla or what's his name or Emiliano Vargas. One of them guys.
Yeah, that's right. Who do y'all think Shakur's next fight is gonna be?
Yo.
Beat easy.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, he's gonna fight somebody easy.
Bleed at that. If you think it's gonna be some super fight, it ain't gonna be no super fight.
He has two super fights waiting for him at lightweight. If he stays with top rank, he has the winner of Kambosos Loma and Navarrete and whoever the hell he's fighting.
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna. I think Loma might fight him, but I don't think they're gonna fight him, bro. I think Shakur is like.
Shakur is not gonna get to fight Loma or Navarrete.
Nah, Navarrete's people don't even want to. They're not interested in Shakur, like at all.
It's not that they're not interested. They're not interested in losing.
Yeah.
Same thing with Issa Cruz.
Well, that.
Oh, they're not interested in losing. Navarrete is already lost.
He's going to take up two-up fight because of injury.
They're not gonna give Shakur that benefit of the doubt. Like they're not. It's people that you don't want to beat to have on your record. Like they know it's not even gonna be competitive. Cruz, same thing with Issa Cruz. Issa Cruz knew this shit. There's no point in me taking this fight. I'm not gonna get that much money because Shakur isn't a pay-per-view star. It's not gonna be competitive. He's gonna make me like a fool.
The money is not.
Bad fight.
The money is not.
Only way that Shakur gets these fights if he was a star, like how Floyd was. Yeah. Then people would go out there and they would get the boxing lesson and they would get embarrassed for a couple mil.
Shakur just he just gotta become the prospect slayer, bro. Slay all the prospects. Those are the only people who want to get in the ring with them right now.
I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like David said, that's a good point.
Shakur can't wait around for big fights. If he wants to make them happen, he just fights whoever he has to fight.
Man, listen, Shakur just need to stay active because inactivity is a bad motherfucker.
He's young though. It's different.
he's gonna fight because he was supposed to fight on Canelo's card, and Canelo said bye. And then we don't know who we're gonna fight. He's supposed to fight Crowley, but I don't think Crowley wants that fight because it's only like he only getting like 200K out of that fight, so he might.
Yo, somebody said Shakur had the world in his hands had he took that 25%. Thank you. Like that would, bro. First off, that fight would have been amazing. Shakur, I think Devin would have lost that fight for one of the reasons is Devin was at 135 for too long.
Too long.
So that would be the perfect time for Shakur to really cash in on him.
Look, yeah, if he hadn't done it at 135, he probably would have won.
Because he was drained.
After Shakur's last fight, his next fight, he needs to knock someone out if he wants to get attention again.
Yeah.
He needs to start fighting some bums, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know. You might be new to the live, but Shakur,
it doesn't hurt.
Out of the 21 people he's fought, only 17 of them have a maximum of 2 losses. So that means that most of the competition he's been fighting has been pretty good competition. He do need some bumps. He need more showcase fights.
I mean, it doesn't hurt Tank.
Yeah, it don't. You need showcase fights sometimes so the fans understand the difference between you and a regular old guy. If you keep fighting people who are very good and you win, the boxing public will be like, the people who follow boxing, they'll be like, damn, that's a good win. But the average casual will be like, well, he did all right, but he ain't do nothing spectacular. Somebody say he needs to fight Loma, but Bob will never let him fight Loma.
I think.
Yeah, Loma in that Bob protection plan.
I mean, I think he'll beat Loma.
During Ramadan, so Haney was really drained. No, Haney decided to stop celebrating Ramadan and eat while he was training. So the Ramadan argument isn't why he was drained. He was drained because he was a weight bully at 135. He had outgrown the weight class. If Shakur would have fought him at 135, that would have given him an even greater chance of winning because Haney was draining his body so much at that point.
Yeah.
Ramadan would actually help Devin lose some weight. Devin just want to be a fat ass.
Also, didn't Haney take like 3 tries to make weight for the Loma fight?
Yeah, you lose weight, but you don't lose it the healthy way.
Train for a championship fight, the biggest fight of your life. Like I wouldn't recommend that for anybody. The food helps you regenerate when you're going through a training camp. So I understand why Devin did what he did.
You can eat fruit at night. It's all right. You can lose the weight faster.
Man,
but when you're already struggling to make the weight, it doesn't help you.
Yeah, I'll try it. I'll see how it goes.
You become a champion, and then you celebrate fucking Ramadan while you training for the biggest fight of your life. That shit go for you, brother.
But I heard someone say that Loma is on the Bob protection plan. Loma's always been on the Bob protection plan. Look, the 3-fight, the 3-fight deal that Devin signed with Top Rank was always meant to lead to Loma. Look, you have the first 2 Kambosos fights, and then what other big fight at Top Rank is there for him to fight at lightweight? That isn't Loma. It was always meant to be Loma.
It could have been Shakur, but they don't rock with Shakur like that.
Yeah, but when they made that
Loma,
but when they signed that 3-fight deal, Loma wasn't at lightweight, or Shakur wasn't at lightweight yet. He was still at 130.
He's still at 130. Okay.
Yeah, it was always meant to be Loma.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like if he had lost the Ortiz fight, it might not have been him. But Devin probably would have taken the fight either way.
Man, all I know is I don't think Shakur is boring. I think he's been matched up a little bit too well. It's made him a greater boxer. But like Boxy Dragon said, he got to start fighting some bums, man. Get some knockouts, or start fighting these young cats that's calling them out. Kid Austin, Abdullah Mason. Start fighting these young prospects and showing the difference between you and them.
Go ahead, keep adding them to your resume, and then shit. Don't he got beef with Emiliano Vargas brothers?
I don't know.
I know they nice. Well, at least Emiliano's nice.
I like Shakur and usually enjoy his fights, but his last fight was a snooze fest. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the last fight was bad, but you can't judge him for that last
boring.
Fight. To be real, bro, I wasn't that annoyed by the fight. I honestly thought it was interesting because them niggas wasn't trying to get hit. Neither him or De Los Santos were trying to get hit. So I was trying to see who was trying to first get hit. But casuals don't like that shit. They want to see action. But I don't.
But yeah, I don't blame Shakur too much for that fight.
I don't even call boxing boring. When I watched that fight, that shit was boring. But that's his only boring fight, if you ask me. All the other fights were exciting. Somebody said they all homies. That's the problem. I agree. because a lot of these dudes coming through the amateur program, they know each other, they become friends. So that is a problem in boxing when motherfuckers be like, man, I don't want to fight him. We cool. Like Keyshawn Davis, he never called out Shakur Stevenson,
Hey,
but
I
Keyshawn Davis was an Olympian.
KJ,
You know,
KJ,
I hear.
I seen it on ESPN ringside. Ryan Garcia said his next opponents he wanted to be Tiafimo. I think it was
The core.
Timo
Shakur
Shakur and
and
Tank.
Frank Martin. I said, ain't you and Frank Martin in the same camp? How the fuck fucking what's the name?
Frank Martin.
Derrick James. Yeah, I said, how the hell is Derrick James gonna be up for both of y'all? Like I don't never ever seen that
He's not.
before.
He's not gonna fight Frank Martin. Frank Martin's at 135.
No, Frank Martin would go to 140 to fight Garcia for the money.
Yeah, but they have
but
the
like,
same trainer.
they in the same fucking camp. Like how would the you know how the trainer be in your corner? How
I
would
know
the
the
trainer?
trainer got to get. Yeah, that would be crazy, but I mean, damn, that's a hell of a point. I don't know how that would happen.
I said it's
Somebody
stupid.
said
Chico and Jacobs had the same trainer, and they had to fight.
Who?
Donnie Jacobs and Derevchenko.
Chenko?
Derevchenko.
He must be new.
I think. Who was the?
Chenko?
Oh, Devinchenko. He talking about Devinchenko and Daniel Jacobs at 160 middleweight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had the same
I think
trainer.
they did.
That's a great point.
You know,
So
I
hey, the
remember.
shit can be done.
I remember a case from way back in the day. You had Muhammad Ali and Jimmy Ellis. Both of them had Angelo Dundee as their trainer, and Ali went to someone else for that fight.
Dundee wasn't no, and I think Ali went to Sugar Ray Robinson, old trainer, for that fight.
He went to Robinson's trainer.
Yeah, and Robinson's trainer was in the corner against one of Ali's early fights where some dude dropped Ali. I think the dude name was Alonzo or some shit. Alonzo Johnson. I don't know. Anyway, Dundee wasn't really Ali's trainer, bro. Dundee was a guy for television.
Coach.
Like, yeah, he wasn't really his coach. Like, Ali did not listen to that motherfucker at all. They would just like, he was like finding fights for Ali and shit like that. Like, it was more like a business thing. By the time Ali made it to Angelo Dundee, he was already finished product.
Well, I think he went to Dundee after his first pro fight.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Ali already went to the Olympics. The man never changed how he fought, and he said that he learned how to box by a black guy named Fred Stoner. Yeah. So Dundee was just a motherfucker that booked fights. Like, it's something like Pernell Whitaker and who the dude that was coaching Pernell Whitaker. He was kind of chubby, the white guy.
Like Georgie Benton? Wait, no, not Georgie Benton.
No, not Benton. Benton taught Pernell some shit. I'm talking about the one that was in the corner, the white guy.
Lou Duva?
I can't think of his name, but that motherfucker was not Pernell Whitaker's coach. Pernell Whitaker was a finished product. Like, he did not need that, man. Like, you need a person in the corner, you know what I mean? But some fighters, the coach, they just be there, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I remember Angelo Dundee, he wasn't with Ali all the camp. He came in during the last 2 weeks to put the finishing touches on.
Man, Dundee ain't help Ali, man. Ali was who he was. Matter of fact, Ali's greatest performance against George Foreman, Ali's corner told him get off the ropes. So they gave him a wrong game plan. He ignored all of them.
Yeah, I think that's because that's kind of what he did during the first Frazier fight. He kept laying on the ropes, letting him hit him, and that didn't work out well for him.
Yeah, during the first Frazier fight, that's a good point. But those fights was a long time separated from each other. And in the first Frazier fight, the best advice they could have gave Ali is, hey, man, don't be sleeping with those 3 women before you go into the ring. So that first Frazier fight, it probably wouldn't have went that way if Ali was taking the fight serious. The man was sleeping with women the night of the fight, 3 of them. You can look that up. Yeah, Ali was a bad man. He was one of the most talented fighters ever. He did shit that you're not supposed to do and get away with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how he did it.
You know what I found out, KJ? You know that guy Oscar Bonavina?
Yeah.
I found out. I looked on the internet. I couldn't believe when I seen this. It was about a month after he fought Ali. A security guard shot and killed him in Vegas.
Oh wait, I know that. I think that was a few years later.
Was it?
I think that was a few years later because I remember after the Foreman Kenny Norton fight, Oscar Bonavina was ringside trying to get at Ali.
Yeah. So it might have been like maybe a couple years or.
All right, let me
somebody said
let me
Mike Tyson
answer
or George
some questions
Foreman.
in the chat, fellas. Somebody says Roy used to hoop before fights and go dominate. Yes, but Roy was allegedly on PED, so I can't count that.
So
Someone said, who will win in the fantasy matchup, Mike Tyson or George Foreman? George Foreman will win.
George.
Mike Tyson
George,
is too small of a man. That's the only reason why. Like, Mike Tyson was an undersized heavyweight. George Foreman was a guy that could fight today. Like, he was 6'3". When he came back, he was like 240, 250. But in his prime, he's 225, and he was the hardest hitter ever.
I
Like,
know.
he was
I
King
think.
offered
yeah,
John
George.
King
I got
offered Mike
George.
Tyson that fight. He turned it down. You remember when George Foreman came back? He
yeah,
offered
yeah.
that fight. He turned it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
wanna
Mike
fight that
Tyson said you go fight that
Mike
monster,
Tyson
man.
got mad at somebody. He was like, man, I don't want to fight
I'm
that
not fighting.
motherfucker. You fight him.
Yeah, he said that about Foreman. He said, yeah, you go fight that monster. I don't want to fight him.
Because I remember I
I
read
mean,
something.
look, listen. Mike don't really have no
Yeah.
business in the ring with no heavyweight ever. So I'm not mad at him for not fighting Foreman. Mike Tyson is an undersized heavyweight.
So
The
Mike is
fact
a
that he had that
cruiserweight.
much power for his size was amazing.
So
If he
you
would have fought George Foreman, it would have looked like when George Foreman fought Kawhi Muhammad. Like, he was just beat
He
around.
fight Muhammad
So was
Kawi.
Joe
Oh
Frazier.
yeah.
He was just
so
punching
hey,
down
Yeah,
on those little short
yeah.
dudes. He was just beat the brakes off of them.
so basically Mike Tyson was basically like a cruiserweight, some shit like that.
Yes. If Mike Tyson went cruiserweight, it wouldn't have mattered what drugs he did. He would have been undefeated.
Yeah,
Facts.
but what was I thinking? Oh yeah, I remember I read something where when Mike was young, Customato showed him the Foreman Frazier fight and said, "Stay away from guys like that."
Yeah, Foreman was a bad and dangerous motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, man. Next, on the first, when I start posting it on TikTok, I got a little clip of Foreman and one of the body shots he threw. That shit looks so crazy. But hey man, I'm gonna go and get up out of here. I think I've been up here for about an hour. Everybody that came up, The Voice, Levi, Wickedy, Kawaki, David, Boxer Dragon, I appreciate y'all, man. To me, Shakur Stevenson is not a born fighter. I'm just going to reiterate it for people who missed a lot. Shakur is not a born fighter. He's very exciting. He's a masterful boxer. He is methodical. When you're methodical, when you're a southpaw, you start doing the same shit. So I think
Yeah.
Shakur should make his offense more creative and his defense like Pernell Whitaker.
Facts.
On top of that, when you look at his resume, 17 out of the 21, he's only had 21 fights.
Yeah, he got
17 out of
killers.
21 fights, the maximum amount of losses is only 2. Tank Davis and Devin Haney is only that number is 14 for them, but they both have 30 fights. Tank has 29, Devin Haney has 32.
Yeah.
Their competition level hasn't been the competition level of Shakur Stevenson
Oh,
overall. When you look at the resume, they fought dudes with 20 and 30 losses. Shakur hasn't. So
wait,
that's a
can I
big
make one
difference.
more
When you fight better
comment on the
competition, it's
Shakur
harder to
situation?
look good. Huh?
Can I make one more comment on the Shakur
Yeah,
situation?
yeah.
A lot of people think he's a boring fighter because of the last fight. And sure, you can give him a bit of flack for that. But what about some flack for the guy who was supposed to come and take the title from him? De Los Santos, what? He could have done more to make that a fight.
Yep. But De Los Santos
didn't.
felt that power. Shakur, his
That
countering ability, people feel that
title
shit. That's
though.
why they're not walking him down like how you would think they would be doing. But
Vacant title. That was for the vacant WBC.
yeah.
But still, you have to
I'm
come
gonna
and
go
try
ahead and
and
get up
take.
out of here though, man.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Peace.